Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I am Harbinger, the Pentagenarian, and today I am reacting to a song that I have heard before, but not by the artist performing it. Yes, it's a cover song, but it's a different kind of cover song. It's not the kind of song you would expect for someone to do a cover on, but that's okay because the band that is doing the cover, I don't think there's a song more perfectly matched for them. The song is 1916 by Motorhead, written by Lemmy Killminster. Um, at some point in his life, possibly being suffering from a moment of sobriety, Lemmy wrote this song as a what's what I'm looking for? A memorial, a acknowledgement of the Battle of the Somme, and it was a moment of introspection and talking about mortality and the horrors of war. Sabaton, most of their music, I think all of their music is about military history. So it's interesting. And the Battle of the Somme is a particularly vicious battle. It's almost the battle that people define World War I by. Between July and November of 1916, the French and British fought the Germans. There were other countries involved, but I don't have them all memorized. But they fought a battle for this piece of land. And in those days, there were over 300,000 people killed and over 1 million casualties. This is not a war. This is one battle. And it always amazes me when I think about how much people know about World War II. But if you walk up to anybody on the street, typically, if you say, hey, name one battle from World War One, I would say, at least in the United States, maybe 10% of the people could tell you just one battle. Well, hey, now you can be in that 10%. You can tell them that the Battle of the Somme. But I'm going to stop yammering. We're going to sit back and we're going to watch Sabaton perform 1916 by Motorhead. All right, before we begin, I did want to mention that the song is 7.5 minutes long. So we're going to watch it all the way through. I don't typically pause, only because most artists do not write songs thinking that a YouTuber is going to be pausing every 30 seconds because they want to get monetized. So we're going to watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
Years old when I went.
Sorry. I will start it over. I did want to mention on the first day of battle, after a week of artillery barrage, the British left the trenches and went towards the German lines thinking that they were going to meet light resistance. 57,000 British soldiers died that day because the bombs and the artillery rounds consisted mainly of fragmentary bombs or rounds. Those typically burst in a horizontal and up pattern. So, yes, the Germans took casualties, but not nearly at the level the British command expected. So when the British command. So when the British came out of the trenches and went across the muddy plains that they needed to fight on, they were literally cut down rank after rank after rank, hours on end, until 57,000 people died in one day.
16 years old when I went to the war to fight for a land fit for heroes. God on my side and a gun in my hand, chasing my days down to zero. And I marched and I fought and I bled and I died, and I never did get any older. But I knew at the time that a year in the line was a long enough life for a soldier. And we added 2 years to our ages, eager for life and ahead of the game, ready for history's pages. And we brawled and we fought and we fought till we stood 10,000 shoulder to shoulder. Our thirst for the hun, we were food for the gun, and that's what you are when you're soldiers.
I'm going to let this continue. Because if you don't know about it, you should. I needed a few minutes after that. Very, very, in my opinion, very, very powerful video. Their rendition was absolutely fantastic. I wanted to respect not just the song and the message and the band and Motorhead and Lemmy for this, but what they did with that video that gave it such power was they included everyone from medieval knights up to, I saw 82nd Airborne patches, and 82nd Airborne wasn't formed until World War II. Very well done. Musically, it was great. It's one of those videos that if you really pay attention to it, you'll forget that you are watching a video, if that makes any sense. It's one of those videos that, while watching as a reactor, I forget that I'm reacting because of what's happening. Sabaton always makes very good videos. They always have great camera work. They're very talented musicians. But this is on a next level as far as I'm concerned. Very moving. I spent 9 years in the military. I have friends that were killed. I knew people who lost their lives in Mogadishu when I was in. It's a very humbling thing, and to see it represented in this way is special. I have nothing but praise and props to give to Sabaton for doing this, and doing it the way they did, because you can feel the respect and the honor, as well as, and as much as you can feel the grit and mud that these guys were running through on that day. To put it into perspective from a American U.S. vet standpoint, and I guess amateur historian, the heaviest day of losses that was ever recorded in United States history was the Battle of Antietam during the Civil War, which took close to 22,000 American lives. It was a one-day battle. So to wrap one's head around a single day of battle, a battle that lasted for July, August, September, October, 4.5, 5 months, that saw 300,000 killed and over 1 million casualties. It's a very humbling thought. Yeah, they literally lost a generation of people there. So thank you, Sabaton, for doing this. I had to smile when I saw them carrying Lemmy's portrait and the 2 remaining members of Motorhead. So yeah, great video. Really enjoyed it. I'm kind of speechless beyond that, because that was not just watching a video, that was an experience. So I hope you enjoyed this. I played it to the end because, like I said, anybody involved in that needs credit. So until next time, you guys take care of yourselves, be good to one another, and most importantly, don't be a dick. The world has enough of them. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.